when one spouse isn't financially informed and the other makes their living at it.
Are you putting me on the spot, Judy?
No, never.
I'd like to first start on the subject of tithing. Now, first of all, if we tithe, that means that we revere the place where it comes from. In other words, God is the giver of all good gifts, including eternal salvation. Is it not worth at least 10%?
No.
Okay, you're never wrong in giving to God. But I believe that the Bible is quite specific on how tithing is supposed to happen. It isn't just putting money where you think it would be a good place to put it. It has to do with your storehouse, as in Malachi 3. It has to do with where you get your fellowship, where you find your growth in Christ from the stewards of the word, i.e. the pastor and the other leaders of the church. So if you're just putting your money wherever you want, to me, I think that's a little dodgy. I think putting your money in your storehouse, in other words, your church. But also, tithing is very, very important, I think, because it shows gratitude and it shows reverence.
Well, would you put your store in your neighbor's barn?
Well, no, I wouldn't actually. Now, Judy's going to tell us how she has organized our accounts from day one of our marriage.
Yeah. Well, to start with, we decided early on that we wanted to have joint accounts because it's far easier to manage. If we're living in one house and we are buying our groceries and paying the electric bill and all of those things, to have them bits and pieces taken out of his account and her account, it's just bitty, and you can't control it. And I am a person who likes to have my finger on the pulse, and I like to be able to see what is the whole picture at any particular time.
The reason why I didn't want to have separate accounts is because I believe we are no longer independent, we are codependent. And that's what marriage is. I think we're codependent on each other. And if I have my own account and she has her own account, then it doesn't represent to me what joint accounts are. Now, let's take Benzer and Sandra's example. Now, they had separate accounts that they fed into another central account where they paid their bills, if I understood how they explained it well. That's fine. And everybody has to make those decisions. Codependent status of being married is best represented by joint accounts. What if I was the owner of a company?
Well, a company account should never ever be mixed up with personal accounts.
Okay.
So if you owned a company, you should have a company account.
Okay.
And the finances for that company account should be kept in that account, separate.
So you would still go joint accounts and then a separate company account for the
business
business
they
expenses.
those two things should never ever be muddled up. You can get into all kinds of trouble.
Have you seen problems in this area
Well,
from other couples?
quite often with sole traders,
Oh, good. Okay.
small people who, you know, the little guy who
Owns the corner shop.
Yeah, or does the gardening in the local community or something of that nature, who doesn't have a massive amount of money that's coming in, but buy some spark plugs, and his wife needs to buy some milk.
Yeah,
and there's enough money for the milk, but not the spark plugs.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the spark plugs, you can't buy the milk.
So there needs to be a separation between business accounts and marriage
Most
accounts
decidedly.
and joint accounts.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks. I hope that's been helpful to you. Well, I survived that one.
Like yourselves, there are things that Larry and I still have to keep working at.
This concludes our chapter on marriage finances from chapter 9 of If You Love Me, Show Me.
Next week, we'll make a start on chapter 10 of A Husband's Protection.
Thanks for being with us. God bless and see you then.
Bye.